with more on that, I want to turn to Evan Solomon. He is the host of Power Play. Get his thoughts on that. Evan, everyone clearly has a different opinion of what happened in that moment, that 20-second plus moment that it took the Prime Minister to answer the question. What do you make of all of the various responses that we are hearing right now, whether or not it was planned, not planned, Blanchette calling it a theatrical gesture?
Well, the pause not heard around the world because it was 20 seconds of silence said a lot. And it is now a kind of silent Rorschach test on your political leanings. People are just pouring into that silence what they want to interpret. One interpretation, it was carefully plotted, and the 20 seconds was Justin Trudeau's way of saying, you know that I can't call Donald Trump out. Our trading relationship is too important. I'm too worried about him reacting as he's done before with anger, lashing out and hurting one of our industries like he's done with steel and aluminum. So I'm just going to sit there and you can marinate in this and read into what you want. The other side of it is he just didn't know what to say. And Justin Trudeau realized he's caught between a rock and a hard place with the United States. He can't call out Donald Trump because of the fear of repercussions. And so you could just see the wheels turning and that he was just stumped. And then he decided in the end to say vague generalities about how awful the situation is, but not specifically call out Donald Trump. And so, look, our relationship is very close, and Justin Trudeau has a long and complicated relationship with Donald Trump. And our trade is so critical. And I think what he did there, whether we don't know his intentions or not, but what he didn't do was he did not generate a tweet from Donald Trump about it. And that probably, whatever you think of it, avoiding Donald Trump's ire and what could be yet another spiraling downward of this relationship is probably success from a diplomatic scorecard, maybe not for many people on a moral card, but such is the nature of geopolitics.
Yeah, and speaking of that moral card, that's what Jagmeet Singh was getting to. He was using his own life story as an example that when he was bullied, people remained silent. And he said that's what Trudeau was doing yesterday, and he wanted to see a stronger statement. And again, Blanchette's saying it doesn't project an image of leadership. So I think your point about, this being a Rorschach test is a good one.
Well, I spoke to Jagmeet Singh yesterday, and he called the violence, and he called out Donald Trump as using racist language. And look, when you're in fourth place, it is certainly a lot easier to hit back than when you're the prime minister. Jagmeet Singh's not even close to the table of negotiating with Donald Trump. Mr. Blanchet is not close and will never be close to that table. He has no interest in that table. So I appreciate the opposition, and they do have a point. Do we want our leaders just to call balls and strikes? This is what they believe. If that's what they believe, they should say it. And some countries have been tougher. But you have to appreciate the nature of the complexity that in the end of the day, what do you say to industries that are already absolutely punished, like steel and aluminum or many others from COVID? And then if the United States decides, you know what we're going to do? We are going to, because of Donald Trump, remember Hillary Clinton once said, this guy can be provoked with a tweet. He could turn on Canada in a second again, and all of a sudden we're in a trade war over what? A statement. So I think this is a very difficult position for the prime minister, frankly. I think which is why, even if it was intended or not, the silence has been seen as a way of maybe unintentionally or intentionally walking that line. And for those people that do not like Donald Trump, that silence is golden. For those people that love Donald Trump, that silence is weakness. So this is why it's the Rorschach test. But I tell you what, so far, when Donald Trump's not focused on Canada is the goal of the prime minister's office. Keep out of his Twitter feed.
Evan Solomon for us. Evan, thank you so much. We'll watch you later today at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific, right here on CTV News Channel.